Well, welcome back to our live show. Our next guest is a Richmond-based mental health advocate, but actually she's so much more. Erin Mahone is also a storyteller. She's a singer, an actor, and a writer, and a lot more than that. Erin's new book is called If You Could See Me, Life, Motherhood, and the Pursuit of Sanity. It was published just a week ago, so now she can add author to her resume. And we welcome Erin to our show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. I was doing some research on you yesterday, and I'm like, I can't pinpoint her.
Good.
You're kind of all over the place.
That's the point.
That's a good thing. Let's talk about this book because it came out, you're a performer, we talked about that, and there's some interesting stories in the book about how you're a singer and how that came about and how you've kind of found yourself in song. But how did all of that as a performer translate into becoming a writer of this book?
Oh gosh, well it started when I was 3. We won't go back that far, but I've always been a singer and a performer. My grandmother loved my voice and she put me on her fireplace hearth when I was a small child, and it just sort of was born from there. But my family also experienced a significant amount of mental health issues when I was growing up. And sort of these two things, I didn't realize how they would come together in a really unique way in my life. And when I became a mother, I started writing down my stories, trying to learn how to be a mom, be a creative person in the midst of motherhood, which is all consuming, and then also to kind of make sense of where I'd come from. And after a number of years of doing that, I was in the car one day and said to myself, you know what, Erin, you're a performer, you've written these stories, why not turn it into a show? And so I wrote a one-woman show called It Runs in the Family, and from that show, this book was born. So portions of the show are the sort of foundation for the book, and then once I was off and running, I just sort of brought in all the different areas of my life and started writing and speaking, and then started inviting other people into the mix with me to help them to find their voice as well.
This book was published just a week ago, but people are reading it and now they know about you.
Yes, they do.
What's that like? Because you start the story talking about your grandparents,
yes,
and then you move on from there into your childhood, your growing up, your life as a mother, wife and mother. What's it like to know that people are going to know your history now?
It's very interesting. You know, it wasn't until I had the book in my hand a month ago, a little over a month ago, and I'm looking at it, and I realized, I said to my husband, oh my gosh, people are going to read this. And I don't know why that just occurred to me in that moment with the book in my hand. I spent a very long time writing it, but now I'm having conversations with the few people who have read it and pre-ordered it, and I'll say something about my origins and they'll say, oh, I know, I read the book. It's in the book. Did you not remember that was in the book? And I'm like, yeah, but the whole point of this and all the other projects that I've done is just that, our stories are what make us who we are, and it's imperative upon us to embrace it, beginning to end, good, bad, and otherwise, and to share it with the world. Because when you come out of the shadows and you say, "This is me," for good or bad, it's very powerful.
And you do talk about things that a lot of people won't talk about, which is your grandfather in particular, who was a schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. And then your grandmother dealing with that, and they were married for 47 years.
Sure.
And then the effect on your mother, and then the effect on you.
Right. Well, actually, my mother was on the other side.
Okay.
They were my father's parents. My mother also lives with bipolar disorder. And the thing that I learned growing up in this family is that we are not defined by the diagnosis or the challenge or the struggle that we face. There's so much more that makes up a human being. And so, yes, my grandfather had schizophrenia. Yes, my grandmother struggled greatly with, managing their relationship and the challenges that came with being married to someone with schizophrenia. My mother lives with bipolar disorder, but they are also funny and warm and loving, and gave me such an incredible perspective on the world and taught me how to love people completely and to see the value in everyone. And I consider that to be the greatest gift that I have been given in this world. My grandmother made me and everyone else feel like they were the most special people in the world. And I feel like that was a gift, and I now want to give that gift back to the world.
And you're sharing it in the book. The book is called If You Could See Me. It's full of wonderful stories and lots of laughs, too. A couple of them I laughed out loud. Erin Mahone. And Erin Mahone's book signing is coming up next Thursday, February 1st at 7 p.m. at the Hofheimer Building on West Broad Street. We'll put a link by early this afternoon to all the details at WTVR.com/VTM. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you so
much.
much.
And good luck with the book.
Thank you.